everyone. I'm coming at you from Paris, France, not Paris, Kentucky. I always wanted to come to that huge classic car show. It's an indoor exposition called the Retromobile, and that's where we are. So I'm gonna walk over there to the convention center. I made my 2-hour journey from the airport on the underground. I wanted to see how the locals live. It was an eye-opening experience. That underground was so full, it's not even funny. All right, so let's go look at the cars. So as we start from this section, this is a section for all the car clubs. The car clubs have the option of renting a little spot there, and then their club can show off their cars. This one is Citroen XM. They used to import it into the US quite a bit. So, or sorry, not XM, SM. And this is the SM club, and then there is the Volvo club. You've probably seen these cars, but not in the station wagon version. The Volvos I've seen in the US, they were always the coupe versions. And as we're going further out, there is the Morgan Club. If you see, the Morgan is look like a cycle car. It's got look like sort of like a Harley engine on the front, and then the rest is just basically 3 wheels. But they're still making it brand new, so you can buy one even today. This is a French car called a Vedette. Look how nice of a tail it has. Can you imagine trying to find a tail light for this car? It looks pretty awesome. And they're very similar to an American car in size. It's a little smaller. And it's got looks like it's got a V8 engine, like a flathead V8 in it. Pretty interesting. This one is a racing Peugeot. They actually got a couple of Peugeots in the US before. This is a 204. That's a smaller version than what the American market used to see. And this is also a UTAC. That's like a rally association with exhibits here. You can see the Faisal Vega stand here. This is a brand that I never ever seen in the US. I don't know why they didn't get there. Maybe at some fancy auctions you probably could find them. You can see how nicely it's done. But I don't know what else to tell you about it. It's not exactly popular in the US, but that's a really expensive car over here. There's an original Bugatti race car here. Looks like it just came from the racetrack. It's all beat up. Just like comparable to the Indy racers. It's really awesome that we can come really close to it. You can see the ignition distributor at the middle of the dash, so you can fix it while you're running the car. It's got these huge brake drums with coolers on it. You can see all these nice arms on the side. It's super exciting to see. A loosely put leather belt around the hood to hold it down. And look at these aluminum wheels, and the wheels are actually molded together with the drums. It's really hard to find an actual working version. It's got the cable brakes, and it's actually, I think this one must have a supercharger in it, or sorry, another supercharger, a blower. You can see it's leaking on the bottom, so it's like a real race car. I've seen one of these caught on fire in the US once because the carburetor was flooded. It's really low, and they had to push it off so the car wouldn't burn down. You can see the shock absorbers in the front. They're like friction shock absorbers. Yeah, I like that. And it makes a good chair too. This is a beautiful car called the Delage, and their club is exhibiting here. But if you look at it, it's a French car, but it's got American size. Look at the windshield, and with the wipers and everything, it's incredible. It's a very, very long car. Even with US standards, it's huge. Look at this tiny little windshield. The side windows, right-hand drive. Yeah, this is awesome. You can see the Jaguar Drivers Association. They're exhibiting here with one of these older versions as a race car. It's a Mark II, and looks like it's running pretty hot on the racetrack. There's a little proof of that. You got the pipes and the Sparco seats in it. Now this thing looks really nice. That's a real elegant piece. I really like that one. This is a Samsung. You may have seen on the Mille Miglia, but it looks very interesting. I've never seen one in person before. It says a 4-cylinder engine. Yeah, incredible. Let's go around. It looks, they made it in 1955 and 56, and they have a club following. It was built to race. Inside it's all aluminum. Incredible. There's a Hotchkiss. Don't ask me what kind of car that is, because I have no idea. But it looks very American, but I don't think so. I don't think it's an American car. But they have a club for it, and they're exhibiting here. Now this I heard of. This is a Panhard. Look at this front grille with those gigantic lights. Freaking awesome. And then you can see this little opening on the side. This is like an arm, sort of like when a school bus pushes the stop sign out. It's actually lit up inside. It's like a plastic piece, and an electromagnet pulls it out, and that's how it shows you. That's the signal light. It comes out, it pops out. Yeah, it's got just the right color. This looks really beautiful. And this looks like a club for a mini car, like a midget racing, I guess, or I don't know how you call it. It's got that little engine in it. This is how a plain Jane French car looks like. It's a Simca. It's comparable to a 57 Ford Fairlane in price and status. Looks very original. It's actually a 65. Of course, the Mercedes Pagoda Club cannot, you can't leave them out. They're very popular in Europe. There is a huge remanufacturing factory in Hungary where they're remanufacturing these cars to a really high standard. But I think this is the largest exhibition place here. And very surprisingly, there is a Sprigget Club. Look at that. And they're actually racing with them too. And there is a Sprigget. And just at the other side of it, there's the Austin Hilly Club. And there's like 100M over there. But you can't see because so many people are standing around it. But that's the local Healey Club. Here you can see a real life Emil car. I never seen one. I always heard about it. I read in magazines about it. I never actually seen one. Look, there is looks like a gun, but it's most likely some sort of tire iron on the side with a backpack. It says Emil car, 1925. Look at this dash. It's machine turned dash. And looks like it's built to race. Very small driver's seat, and then the mechanic sits a little bit behind, or mechanic or navigator, but more like mechanic. And the mechanic was the one who was doing stuff and pushing things. You can see here there's a place where the mechanic was putting his feet. There's like a footrest in the middle. Yeah, it's crazy. But look how nice that is. It's a good place to put the license plate on the back. Finally, no people standing around the Mercedes here. He's been to the Monte Carlo rally, just like my Trabant, which I would call the ultimate oxymoron, a Trabant race car. Actually, I have that car. I'll make a video for you guys later once the spring comes out. Look at that engine. This is still a 280, but it's a different 280 than what my 280 is. I have a 107. It's a lot newer. Got dual cams. Look at the racing seats in it. And they left it dirty. I don't know if it's salt or not, but I wouldn't leave salt on my Mercedes. I hope it's not salt, but it looks pretty cool. I assume you guys heard about the Renault brand. This is their Renault Club stand. This yellow car is very interesting because they sold it to the Romanians, the license, and then the Romanians made a really large batch of them. They call them the Dacia. But this one is actually a Renault 12. It's not a Dacia. It was very popular in Hungary where I grew up. And then for a while you were able to buy parts for this one, but you couldn't buy parts for the Dacia. And that's the kind of engine what I have in my Barkas record truck. And look at this. This is the Chablis Club of France. I'm not totally convinced that this is a Chablis Mustang, but sure enough, they have a fan club. That's something unexpected. Now we're getting into some really old stuff. Look at that gramophone. And look at this thing. Only French could come up with a car like this. Like one of the wheel is missing. I guess because the tax dollars or whatever French francs they had, they had to pay a different kind of tax on a vehicle if it had three wheels. And look at this engine. They put it right on the side. And you're able to get in from the other side. It's a 1924 Scott Sociable. I guess you got really social when you had to sit next to each other that close. Peugeot is a brand was still existing today. This one is an 1892. It's an 1892 Peugeot Type 3, they call it. This can go on the London-Brighton run. I'd really like to have a car where I can do the London-Brighton run. We'll have another video of that. I have a feeling I'm gonna just have to go there and take a video of it. But look at that steering wheel. They actually move that, and then it moves a chain, and the chain moves that little thing, and then that's how you turn the wheels. And the next is a Trofalt. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's a 1908. If you look at the tires, or there's more like a wheel. I just seen a brand new digger went by the road. It had the same kind of concept. It had like holes in the middle. Don't need any air in it. Now this is like really, really a nice old car, 1908. It's got the carbide lights on the front. Actually got extra lights. And what that little dealie does there, I had no idea. Looked like a grinding machine or some sort of thing. I love these handles, the way they positioned outside. And look at that wooden fender. Actually made the whole fender out of wood. And the next item is a Corona motorcycle from 1906. Looks like it's all original. See, this is how the tires looked a long time ago when they didn't put any ashes in it. They were white. The problem was that they got dirty, and therefore they put black ashes in it. So therefore they colored it. So the black tire not gonna get more black than they are, but the white tire always go dirty. Look at that leather. How you call that? The leather chain, what goes around it, what actually runs on the other side. It's made out from pieces of leather. You got the brakes and the shifters. Really cool. So for those of you who like really super rare motorcycles, there's an exhibition about a motorcycle called the Dollar. They started making motorcycles like what you see here right after World War I. This one is actually 1926. And the next one is at 27. So they were thinking that because of the large amount of U.S. troops here, they're just gonna call the motorcycle Dollar, and then that will be a good point of selling stuff. So this one, the next one is at 27. Type L. I know nothing about motorcycles other than they have two wheels, and it hurts if you fall. I really like them. I like to look at them, but I'll be honest, I just don't know what to say about them. But I'm hoping if I take this video, then you're gonna enjoy looking at them. I never heard about this brand before, so they pretty much got every year here. This one was at 29, and the next one is the 30. Maybe that sign is lying on the motorcycle fender, or this thing. No, it is at 29. Sorry, I was wrong. It's at 29, and then it's at 28. I guess it's going back earlier as we're going this way. And that's at 26, looking at the fender. But I slow down a little bit so you guys can enjoy looking at it. You can see the push rods and the rockers and everything. Very interesting to me. Yeah, we continue with the Dollar. the dollar motorcycles. This one is from 36. Look at that Castro oil bottle at the front. Just like on the Model T, they just had a holder for it. This one is a 1933. They say it's an S4, whatever that means. As you see on the front fender, it's from 1933. And the next one is a 31. You can see dual exhaust on it, and then the push rods are already covered inside. Very nice muffler on the back. And my favorite is that woven basket on the back, so you can take your wine with you if you go. Never mind never mind your girlfriend, let's just take the wine. There's another one. That one is from 1930. Looks like it's in original condition. This one is a 30. And next to it is a 31. Looks like they restored this very nicely. Thank you. Please leave me a comment if you know if you ever seen such a thing as a dollar motorcycle in the US. I mean, if you come to Europe and you're a motorcycle guy, you probably heard of it, but let me know if it's actually there is some in the US. You ever seen one in the US, or you know what it is? I'm really curious. They're selling car covers, and under the car cover there's an 850 Fiat Spider. I used to drive one in high school. That made me excited. And the actual car cover was on it. It's on my 124 Spider, which is a new one. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're advertising or what their deal is, but this is some sort of appraisal service or some sort of insurance place. But sure enough, it's a nice 190 SL and 911, and then here's a Jaguar with a really ugly electric fan on the front. But the engine looks awesome. That would make a nice race car engine. It would be nice. In Europe, you can't have enough of Mercedeses. There's another only 190 SL Club. This is the proper color for it. I really like it. It's a German color. The first car was painted this color was the Silver Bullet, and that was the supercharged V16 car, what they made in Zwickau in the Horsch factory. So many people touched a nice little Healy. It's time to make it up a little bit, because you can see all the handprints on it. Yeah, that's the local Healy club. It says, they say it backwards, Club Healy France, of course. They have a pretty big exhibition place for that. Look at this nice painting. I love it. Look at this incredible wooden boat. Now that would be something to tow behind a classic car. Look at that, that's DeSoto steering wheel. I think it's a 1960 DeSoto steering wheel. It looks pretty nice. Now that would be the thing to own. Wow. You don't ever want to go put it on the water, but it looks really, really nice. Now this is an oddity. I'm not even sure what it is, but they have a club for it. It says E-Auto. Looks like a microcar. Maybe they have one in the Lane Museum. It says win this 500 Fiat 500 for €2, so you can put your name in the hat. This company sells some sort of cleaning supplies, and they have one of these incredible Renault Alpine here. It's a rear engine race car. They built it for racing from the ground up, but it's built by Renault. What better car to display your stuff than on one of these cars? Awesome. There's a motorcycle trailer which is available in the US too. It's not all that biggie, but this thing is nice. Once you put your car in it, it's all made out of aluminum. You can open it up and get to it, open the doors. You're not gonna ding the doors. You can see the price on it. It's almost 13,000 euros. It's not even that bad if you look at US prices, but I don't know if you can import it into the US. So over here, the classic cars have a name. They call them the veteran cars or old timers, and they call the young timers, which are not all that old, but they're not all that new anyway. I remember one of these Supras when I was in Tokyo, and it was a police interceptor, and it just went by us. It was crazy. It was crazy fast. But this is another category, a little bit above the classic cars, and they call them young timers here. Now we get into an area which would be in English we would call it a car corral. People bring out their stuff to sell. So we can start with the 7,000 euros Yamaha dirt bike, and then a $14,000 Fiat 500. It's very nicely done. Then there is a Fiat station wagon. Have you seen such a thing before? That's like 16,000 euros. And there's a Peugeot. I don't know how much they want for this. There's a really hot Ducati. Looks like it's from the 80s. And Sprigget. And an Auto Bianchi. Super over restored condition for 25,000. I don't know how can they do that. But I guess they didn't need too much paint on it. Probably seen something like this before. It's a 24 Dodge. Looks like a very nice hood ornament on it. And I guess in France you can just have a naked lady on it, no problem. There's a Fairly 9 SLC for 21,000 euros. Nice paint job, nice interior. Can't find any flaws with it. Looks pretty in good shape. And then an Alfa Romeo. I don't know how it got here. I don't know if it broke or they pushed it in. Because when I was growing up, I seen these cars. They were always broken. Okay, there's a Beetle convertible. Looks like a late model. Very nicely done. Paint job is nice too. And then it's 25,000 euros. Most of these cars are importable, so you can bring them in as long as they're over 21 years old. You can bring them in. Probably not to California, but for the rest of the U.S. There are 3 laws what was concerning car import. One was emissions, the other one was the bumpers, and then the third one was the windshields. So the windshields had to be laminated windshields, because in Europe they use secure glass. So when you actually hit it, the glass would explode. And the US didn't want that. They wanted to have the windshield stay together intact. And then anyhow, so once your vehicle is over 25 years old, all of these laws would go out the window, and then you can just bring it in and put papers on it. When I was growing up, my friend had one of these Renault 5s, and then that was a fast car. It had a turbocharger in it, and I know it was just a 4-cylinder, but it was crazy because it doesn't weigh anything. That was incredibly fast. This Lotus can be yours for 21,000. And then there is a British MG. That was the Rover. Doesn't have. No, I was wrong. It's an Austin Metro. You can have it for 6,000. All right, Fiat 500 section. A whole bunch of them. One thing in common, they all look really super nice, and they're very, very expensive. Next to it, there's a Bull Taco. For some reason, there is a very large following of this motorcycle in the US. I've seen quite a few of them. Man, this one is not a Fiat, it's an Auto Bianchi, and they only want 8,000 for it. That looks like it's a pretty good price. Now this is something super rare. It's a Fiat Moretti, and then a Isetta next to it with the bubbly doors. But this thing I only seen this on pictures before. And then this other one next to it. Look at this. These are some real rare stuff. You never ever see them, especially not in the US. So you heard about a Fiat 500, heard about a Fiat 850. This one is a Fiat 750. Race car, anyone? 17,000 euros. Comes with a trailer. Now, this is just cute. Can you imagine yourself driving around in Paris with the top down? All the lights are rolling for 26,000 euros. Another Fiat wagon, and look, the whole top opens up, so you can stand up and yell at your buddies. I like this red-white combination. It's also an Auto Bianchi. This one is a Fiat bus, very small one. Engine is on the back. They want 18,000 for it. I don't even know what could I compare it to, but basically just a little bit bigger than a Fiat 500. When I was growing up, that was the new car. This was the new car. This is an Opel Manta B. It's like a General Motors division, and this is a B Manta. I don't know what they're advertising there, but it has a 4-cylinder, sometimes fuel-injected engine. Very odd color, like a pea green Mini. Then that's a newer Mini. It's 12,500. And then look at this nose sticking out there. That's a little 500. 8,700. And this is it. This is a Lamborghini tractor. Lamborghini was, well, still is, mostly making agricultural machinery. Very large pieces, combines, sort of like John Deere in Italy. And this was one of the earlier tractors. I really like the Porsche tractors too, but if you want to have a Lamborghini, that would be the way to go. If you have several pizzas to take out at once, this would be your choice in Italy. This is a Lambra. Look at that, there's a kickstart on the under the seat. That's how you can start it. Maybe that was the brake. There's a French car called a Simca, and this is a Simca Coupe, or a Simca Coupe. Very interesting. The engine is on the back, right next to an old Chevy. There are some incredible amount of cars here. So now we're gonna just accelerate. Looks like they have a bunch of MGs and Minis and all kind of British stuff. There's an Opel. It's sort of like the Sky, the Saturn Sky, but it's the European version. And maybe I said something very stupid, but this one is an Opel. Maybe it's built on the same kind of concept. Very low, very interesting. And then a 107 right next to it. Well, let's see how much they want for a 107 here. It's a 450 SL, and then it looks like it's in very, very decent shape. I need to work on mine. They want 25,000 for it. Looks like everybody likes the late model Corvette. It's not too late for us, but this can be yours for 25,000 euros. And if you're talking about weird cars, look at this. You can't get away from the US. Now very matching Porsche. Looks like somebody bought it already. It's matching with the flooring here. So as the SL behind it. Looks like that's a 450 SL, and there is one more next to it. These are very popular cars over here, and they highly regarding all these vintage Mercedeses, but none of them has manual transmissions. I'm surprised, because mine does. I got a 280 SL from 81. This one has original 60,000 kilometers. I don't know how much they want for it. This is very inexpensive. That's a Renault for 12,000 euros. It's a 4-door. Yeah, I don't know. It's not all that pretty. Paint job is not all that nicely done. I guess maybe that's why, because it's not properly fixed up. There are some mistakes in the paint, and then look at this job here. That's probably why it's not that expensive. But it looks like a good driver. It could be like a really good one to just drive around with. If you want to have a weird-looking French car, that would be the one. A little Fiat 128. There used to be like a 4-door version of it also. And a Peugeot, another Peugeot here, and a Honda race car. That's something else. I can't say I've seen one of these before. No, some Honda enthusiasts. Look at this. There's so many people around it can't get a good shot. What is for sale too? This is another Austin Healey parts supplier. It says Paul's Classic Cars. I'm gonna get a nice little, it's an AH Spares. Oh sorry, that was the wrong thing to say. It's AH Spares from the UK. And they have all kind of nice stuff. All of these parts they sell new. So I really want to buy one of those speedometers and RPM gauges for my Healey. Now have you seen something weird? Look at this. It's incredible how weird that is. Looks like a door wedge. Yeah. I seen these when they were new on the streets in Italy, but I don't think they ever brought them to the US. And most motors actually came this far. So it looks like they have. Oh, I gotta pick up all kind of catalogs. That's the European catalogs. Cool. And this is a Topolino. That's the predecessor of the Fiat 500. It's got an incredibly small 4-cylinder engine. So you can see where the people are sitting. Their feet comes all the way up to the front, and the engine compartment is right here at the very front. And there you go. Welcome to America. You got Route 66, American graffiti, and everything that you can imagine. There we go. And you gotta have wine tasting. Every place you go, you gotta have wine tasting, which I really enjoy. And there's an Abarth Fiat 595. Look at those connectors for the wipers. Nice. I got an Abarth, but mine is a new one, a 124. Pretty cool. This is another area. This is the it's a restoration company who works on Porsches, and there's also some race cars over here. The evolution of race cars, I guess. Don't even ask me what they are because I have no clue. This is an area where they are exhibiting the cars. We're going up for auction soon. And I'm gonna wait for the auction, but you can see there's like an incredible amount of cars was waiting for that event. There's a race car SLC right next to this. This is the 107 race car. Looks like got racing history, and it's been to Africa and other places. Yeah, look at all these cars. It's like foreign car heaven. There's a Lancia Delta Integrale right next to it. And then a Simca and a leather Lancia. Look at that Mercedes with the gullwing doors. I don't know who made that and why. That looks odd. This is how it's supposed to look originally. This is another French car which I never seen. It's a Panhard. Look at those wipers. They're going backwards like we normally used to. Yeah, there's a nice hippie bus, followed by a 356 Porsche on tracks. Yes, you heard me right, a 356 Porsche on tracks. This car would kick ass in Minnesota. This is the thing you need to go to ice fishing with. You can see a couple of these filling stations or filling pumps. I don't know how much they cost. Maybe they just display items. Yeah, if I would be on the market for a Ferrari what I can drive to work, I think this would be the one. Look inside. A 64 Berlinetta is going up for auction. So people who register to bid on these cars, they can go in and view them from close up. But there is a really nice Bugatti up there on the stand. Look at that. And this car is the AC Ace. This is what the AC Cobra is kind of came from. So Shelby came over to England and bought these chassis. So he got the engines from Ford, and then he got the bodies from AC. and then he had to rework all the body because it was a weak piece of shit, and it only had a 4-cylinder engine, but he reworked the frame and reworked all the body, and that's the AC Cobra came out of it with the 289. Another fantastic looking DeHaul. I cannot even pronounce it right, but look at that. If you want to buy a Bugatti race car, here's your chance. All original. And if one wasn't enough, here's another one. They're all going up for auction. Look at this. So this is it for the exhibition. I hope you guys didn't fall asleep. And now let's go to Hungary. First, I'm gonna take the train back to the airport and head over to Budapest. Come with me there too. Paris Underground was quite a bit of a workout, so if you ever come to Paris, come with a handbag or a backpack. Don't even try to bring your 2 big bags or 3 bags, because you're not going to be able to take the underground or get a transportation, a ground transportation, because you're going to have to take stairs up and down. Incredible crowds and everything. It's just not an easy thing to do. Smoking in France is still a very popular thing to do, so you can come to a little defined space and then you can smoke away. I think it's a damn good idea. The only other place I've seen in the world something like this, it was in Las Vegas. So after a 2-hour train ride on 3 different trains or metros, I finally made it to the airport. I missed my first flight because I was trying to jump seat, and then the plane was full, so I couldn't get a seat on it. But now I'm waiting for the next one. Hopefully there are seats available, because I'm trying to jump seat. But look at this structure here. In France, everything has to be overly designed, and it's just beautiful. If you look at this whole building, I don't know how old it is, but it looks exciting and great. And if you look down, this is where you can buy food. It's underneath. It's just incredible what kind of structures they're designing in France. I'd really like to leave now, because I'm sitting here for 6 hours now waiting on that flight. And then my friend promised that he's gonna pick me up with his Trabant at the airport in Budapest. So next stop is Hungary. So I got here to Hungary, and here comes my pickup car. Gabor and the Trabant. Right there. No. So here's my friend, and he's packing it up. I hope you're gonna all fit in it. So he brought his son with him. No. We're gonna squeeze in.
Telefonom.
And it started right up.
Fasten seatbelt, please.
And it's a very authentic airport pickup with my Eastern European friends right there in a freaking Trabant. It's hilarious. Well, it runs great. We already exceeded the speed limit of 45 kilometers per hour. So we got the first uphill with the Trabant. It's responding like it should. It's actually slowing down and making noises. But now here comes the downhill, so we're okay. They built this road in the 50s. It was like a expressway to the airport. Ooh, now we're really kicking ass. You can see, well, you can't see it, it's too dark. But we almost got to up to 90 kilometers per hour. And it's kind of warm. The heating works really well in this car. Thank you for watching this. See you guys next week. Bye.